The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good evening and happy holidays. Welcome to BronxTalk. On this show, viewers always know that we're aware of the depth and beauty of Bronx art, and when we can, we make it our business to bring you some Bronx artists and give them a chance to show off their work and expand all of our horizons. And so for the holiday tonight, we decided to talk with a couple of Bronx artists and a show called Collective Energy, which is just right for the spirit of Christmas. Because of the holiday, though, we are on tape and we cannot take your phone calls, but if you would like to ask questions or make comments, then email them to us at bronxtalk@hotmail.com, and we'll read those on the air during a future edition of our program. But for now, please join me in welcoming two Bronx artists. It is Janine Alfieri, thank you for joining us, and also Elena Butha. Good evening, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Janine, let's start with maybe something that's very easy for you, but maybe you need to define it for us. What is Collective Energy?
Well, it started out as a show that happened in November, all through the month of November. But also at that time, I launched Collective Energy, the group, okay, which has been an idea of mine for a while, but really cultivated when I came here to the Bronx because of the amazing community here. And the artists here were so open to my ideas. Now, Collective Energy is if all of us as artists work together to help each other in a common goal. We're all doing our own work individually and promoting our own work and making our own work. And I believe if we harness that energy to one common goal, it could be success for all of us as artists.
Of course, this could be applicable to just about anything.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Society.
I can only start with one group, though, Gary. Can't do the whole world. I'm going to start with one group.
And how did it play out? Did you get a lot of artists to be part of it? I mean, run it down for us.
This show itself, Collective Energy Bronx, that took place at the Cepha Center of the Arts here in the Bronx, was actually the fifth show that I put on here at in the Bronx, okay, moving from my gallery in Chelsea. And I've had interest from all Bronx artists to be involved, okay? So
people like the concept.
They like here in the Bronx, in the Bronx.
And we're showing some of the pieces right there. But
yes.
So people like the concept. I'm always interested in people who come to the Bronx from other places, and you say that, wow, I was inspired by Bronx artists. Tell me a little bit about about what you found here and what inspired you so.
Well, I was in Chelsea, Manhattan, for over 18 years. Came here about 3.5 years ago, and I felt an incredible energy here. All right, and I never felt anything like it before. Okay, the energy here in the Bronx comes from the soul. It's very deep.
Well, you're preaching to the choir
right
here, of course.
So a concept. I started the Fountainhead Gallery in Chelsea in 2007, and many reasons I started it. But one of the reasons was to help other artists show and sell their work. I had done so well on my own with my career. Everything that I did was on my own. So I wanted to help and show other artists how to do that for themselves.
Collective energy.
Right.
There it
But
is.
the concept of helping each other as artists didn't go over so big in Manhattan.
But in the Bronx.
But in the Bronx, I moved here, and the artist community, they were open and amazing.
And for you as an artist, I mean, in a moment we're going to look at, we saw glimpses, but we're going to look at more. For you as an artist, what art do you specialize in?
Okay, I'm a sculptor, Gary. I do all live casts of women. I also incorporate steel with my work, also recently wood. and all my other work is made out of different fabrics.
Okay, and there's even a quick look at it.
Well, this is the Cephas Center of the Arts, the Collective Energy show. Yes, that you can see.
Let's
sculptures.
hold on showing some of those, and we'll get to meet both the artists, and then we'll go through all the pictures. Elena, let's talk a little bit about you as an artist.
Great.
You have been an artist for a long time.
All my life, since I was born.
Okay, and tell me about making art in the Bronx.
Well, making art in the Bronx is as making art anywhere else, but surrounded by this great energy that Janine is talking
The collective
about.
energy.
Exactly.
And how does that manifest itself? You say this energy, well, is it other people sit around and you talk about what you're doing, or how does it play out?
Well, it's just people is open to these new ideas, to collaborate together, to, instead of being in competition with each other, to help each other.
Be supportive.
And be supportive, exactly. So that's very different. Being an artist is very hard to find people that is not always competition.
Right.
On
And so your work is more of flat work. You do more painting, let's say, than
painting.
just compared to Janine.
Exactly.
All right. They've been
Two-dimensional.
showing stuff, but I want to start at the beginning and let's go through everything one at a time so we can have our artists talk about everything. So let's just start at the top. And so now, what is this and where is this?
This was the original Fountainhead Gallery in
Okay.
Chelsea on 28th Street. So this is a shot of the actual gallery.
And is there, I mean, it's significant, but was the idea to recreate it or give us do something new in the Bronx or duplicate it?
Well, here, the whole concept of the Fountainhead Gallery, the whole idea was to promote and help other artists, okay? So moving to the Bronx, it just carried over into the
see.
Bronx.
And this
all
right here?
This was the first show that I did here in the Bronx. I found a space at 136th Street and 3rd Avenue in the South Bronx, Mott Haven. And I was I was supposed to be there for 5 days. It ended up staying for 3 months. Okay.
Now, in this room that we're looking at, how many different artists are represented there?
In this show, I think I had three. Yeah,
Three different artists.
Three different artists in this show.
And you then,
four.
for you plot out what should be, and you.
Yes,
you,
I'm the curator.
the curator.
The curator,
Okay.
yes.
Excuse my innocence.
That's all right, Gary. I was
That's
just
why we're
giving you the
here
right
asking
terminology.
questions. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else we got. What else is there? This is a holiday treat for all of us.
Right.
Okay, now what is this
Then
space?
this was the last show that was done by the
Collective
Fountainhead Gallery, and this was the show called Collective Energy. All right, again, where I launched the group Collective Energy. Now, there's many Bronx artists in this show.
How many?
We had 15, okay, plus another 15 spoken word artists and poetry artists. and
What
performance
is this
artists.
piece we're looking at?
This piece right here is called Spirit Recycles. This is one of my pieces.
Okay.
It's all made out of steel and linen, all right? Again, all this work should be seen in the round, so, you're only getting one view of it here.
we
But
just
that's
have
what,
the
exactly.
limitations of television.
Exactly.
When you
This-
say in the round, you mean be able to walk around and
exactly,
see all the...
exactly. See all the angles of it.
And this piece?
This piece right here is a piece made by Linda Cunningham. who
Okay, Linda was on the
Linda
show.
was on the show.
Somewhere along the
She
way.
has the Bronx Art Space. And this is one of my newest pieces that goes along with this mermaid series that I've been working on.
Leave that up there for a second. So this is a series that you made?
Yes, well, this is part of a series, all about mermaids.
When you sit down to plan it out, do you plan it out? Do you kind of wait for some inspiration from somewhere? How?
No, well, inspiration for me comes from everywhere, all right? And no, I don't generally plan it out, all right?
So you don't say to yourself, gee, now I'm doing a mermaid series and now
No,
I'm going to do 4
I was
mermaids.
interested in mermaids, and I started doing them, and then I wanted to do another one, and another one, and another one.
Do you allow the materials to dictate? In other words, you find materials that you think are interesting, or do you, say, well, gee, now I need a piece of leather, or I'm going to try and find this. In other words,
Well-
how do you decide what it's going to do?
Well, it's a combination of both of those things. After I have an idea in my head and I start working on it, then I do see what materials I'm going to use for that specific piece, depending on the piece.
I just think it's so interesting to try and get an artist to define their muse if we can.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
And I try to ask that question, and some of them want to slug me. Wait, go back to the one we just had before this one.
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course, go ahead.
Because she's saying that...
Go back to the
she
previous
looks-
one before that. Go ahead.
She looks for the materials, but I have actually seen her carried this piece of wood that is part of that
She
piece.
said, wait a minute, that's the
right,
wood,
right.
Eureka.
But I didn't know I was looking for the
She
wood.
just
That's
liked
the
it.
part.
She didn't know what it was going to be
What it was,
for,
right.
but she tied it up with the dog leashes and carried through
There you go.
Randall
Now,
Island.
what is this piece?
This is the same piece you saw the view,
Oh, I
view
see,
from
yes,
above.
of course.
The other
From
side.
above. Now, what is
Right.
that material toward us?
That's a huge piece of driftwood, okay, that's also, and the figure itself is made out of leather.
In the curation of it, are you aware of the surroundings? In other words, what's behind it, or did we just kind of get a picture that got a
No,
couple
well, this is, again, you're seeing a brand new piece in the show, Collective Energy, so that's why you see other work behind it. The piece that you see in the installation piece there is from an artist named Melissa Calderon. She's also
We also
Bronx
know Melissa
artist. You
has
know
been on the
Melissa,
show, of
exactly.
course.
All right, so that's why you're seeing other things in
Great.
behind.
All
this
right, now
piece.
let's go to that next one, which I thought was so interesting. I want to make
Okay.
sure to give it. This is, now you said you do many sculptures of women.
Right, correct.
Okay,
And
tell
is
us about this
This
piece.
is a piece called Sirena, and it is also part of the Mermaid series. Okay, all made out of leather and steel.
Leather. Did you have somebody pose for it?
Yes, I have live models come to my studio. They sit for me. I do the cast, and then I proceed with the next steps.
When you say a cast, what do you mean?
You know what they used to use for broken arms and broken legs, Gary?
Yes,
plaster
plaster.
bandages. Okay, they don't use that anymore. They use fiberglass now. But plaster bandages, that's how I start out with my cast.
And you put that around the person?
Around the model.
Wow.
If you go to my website, you can see an example.
What is that website? Stay with this one. I want to look at this one very
Okay, that's
closely.
the tail part.
Wait,
of
no,
it.
first the website.
Okay,
and
website
then
is www.
I'm an artist too, you know, I'm making it up as I go along.
Janine Alfieri.
There it is.
Okay.
Jane put it
Yeah,
right up there.
It's right there. JanineAlfieri.com.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this one. You know, when I reviewed the pictures before the show, I just loved this. Now, this, I guess, is part of the larger work. That was
Correct,
part of the
correct.
work we just saw?
Exactly. This is a detail.
But this really shows you some incredible, the texture is remarkable, I think.
That's very good, Gary. Excellent.
I got the job
You
already.
got it
don't worry
already,
about it. But so now, this is leather or this is the steel?
This is leather.
This is leather. So is it fixed in that spot or does it kind of move around?
No. Well, the leather is skin, so
Right.
it does have sort of a movement as it's placed in different places. But no, it generally stays stiff.
Do you buy the leather? One would think that
I
could
buy
get expensive.
skins. Yes, I buy skins down in Manhattan in this fantastic place on 27th Street. The place is just filled with skins. All
Wow.
beautiful leather, amazing.
If we can come back onto the set here, I want to ask just a very important question out of this, and that is about making a living as an artist. We've talked about this. So we'll start with you, Janine. Is it difficult? Do you make a living through this kind of work? Do you have other work? How does that whole thing that the rest of us are struggling with every day play out?
Exactly. I mean, it's difficult, okay? But I've been working as an artist, professional artist, my whole life. But over the last 12 years, I've just been doing my work. All right. I do fill in
And
here
so
and
then
there.
you sell like the pieces we saw there for sale, for example?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Everything is for sale.
Do people buy them for their homes? I mean, something like that sculpture?
Some
Or they
people
would
buy them for their homes,
a
for their
garden, maybe?
offices, yes, or outdoor pieces.
Very interesting. How about you, Elena? Full-time artist or not?
Well,
Tell the truth.
I am a full-time artist that also teaches. I'm
And you
a
also
teaching
teach.
artist. Yeah.
And where do you teach?
I work for a company called Student School. They're a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is that they place professional artists in residence in public schools in New York City.
Do other colleagues in art, in Bronx art, are they struggling or have they found their niche so they can just do what they need to do? Or is this really a difficult time to be an artist in
It is a
Bronx?
very difficult time,
Very
especially
difficult
these
time.
last
Very
like 3-4 years. It's been hard. And yeah, every artist struggles.
Yeah,
That's not.
interesting.
Part of collective energy, though, is to hopefully
That's the
change
idea.
that.
Did you see results? I mean, I realize these are long-term kinds of results. Did you see results that you would say, gee, that you could measure this was a success, or we're not even there yet?
Well, we're working on it, okay? I mean, we need to change the conversation about the way artists are seen in this society, okay?
Keep going,
And
I
how
like this.
important their role is, All right, that part of the program at Studio in a School where Elena works is just what you guys were talking about in the previous show about how we need to have more positive information going out to our children, all right, and to the whole community.
How does that play out? Now, people will say, well, you know what? Our kids are failing in science, they're failing in math, they're failing in English. We have real specific educational needs. How does that play out?
Well,
that you can justify putting more funding into the arts, into the education
well,
of
you
the
can
arts.
see what's
Can I
happening,
answer
Gary.
that one?
Yeah, go ahead. But you can see what's happening.
Elena,
the
go ahead.
decline in our society.
Actually, the shame is that people don't realize how
Exactly.
much art has connection with the rest of the lives, the life areas. So actually what I do with the kids is try to make those connections, and they improve with
How improve? First of all, what age children are you talking about?
well, I'm working with elementary
Elementary age,
kids.
okay.
So it's about making them think, making them ask questions. And
Give me an
really-
example of how you do that. I'm fascinated by this, and I'm hoping people watching would be fascinated as well. Okay, give me a project that you would say to a 9-year-old that will make him think, and you think will help bring him out so that he's a little more creative and a little more self-expressive than he might have been.
Well, we always start by looking at real artists, actually, as a reference. That's from there.
You look at paintings or sculptures or what, Janine?
Depending on the project we're doing.
And then
we
what
look
do
at
they say?
different things.
Do the kids accept it, or the kids like, yeah, I get it, I want to get out of here and go to gym?
Well, no, the kids ask questions, and they have their own views. And what is important is that they are actually using the critical thinking, and then creating their own work. There is.
And so then you would have them see something and then say, well, now draw a picture or an interpretation or something like that? Tell us the
Tell
story.
them about the vegetables and the fruits, how they
Vegetables and
connected
fruits. We love
they
vegetables.
connected the
That's so funny.
teaching them about good health and good eating.
And
by
you did
having
that
them
through an
draw
art class.
these.
It's,
Explain. Go ahead.
yeah, it's actually a program. It's called Art and Healthy Living, and it's taught by a nutritionist and an artist. So first goes the nutritionist, and that's the thing about talking about the vegetables, and then with the artist they draw from observation using.
What is the value of including art in that dialogue?
Well, they look closer.
They look
They
closer.
pay attention to details, and
Not only, I'm just going to assert my answer to that, is that I'm guessing that they internalize it. That once
do,
if you draw a
and
peach, and the next time you see a peach, something will register like that was the thing that I kind of owned or interpreted or whatever it is.
And when you're drawing, without even realizing, you are using mathematical concepts.
Spatial
are,
concepts.
Yes. And
Color.
Has teaching made you a better artist?
Yes, definitely.
How so?
Students teach you many different ways. I've taught adults too. And
I'm trying to get Janine to get into teaching. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's going to be a hard one.
It's going to be a hard one. Yeah,
okay.
I never got
I'm
on.
just joking. But you're saying that, but it does, I knew the answer to it.
Yes,
It inspires you.
I get very pure points of view from the little kids, and it's also, well, it's very interesting the questions they ask and the things that they are.
Have you
interested
seen
on.
children develop from point A to point B, like over the course of a semester or a year? Like
Absolutely.
You see it, you have, and you say, gee whiz,
Absolutely.
I know that that's partly or wholly my influence.
Well, I've seen definitely improvement in their artwork and how you can tell that that kid has been thinking, has been using their mind, and has been making choices deliberately. It's not.
And where does the notion of ability come in? Because if you ask me to draw anything, I would probably I'd draw a cat and you think it was, a house. But does the notion of ability come in this at the age that you're dealing with, or do you say, wow, that's somebody who's so talented? Explain how that might work.
Well, at any age, whoever is talented in one area will be talented on that area forever. But there are a lot of things that can be learned, and also most of us are just afraid of making it because we don't
Because you don't
believe we
reinforce
can.
it, and it's like, gee
It takes
whiz.
a lot of practice. You don't learn how to paint in one day.
Right.
Right. Boy, I tell you though, I could practice all day. Anyway, let's look at something from real artists who can
motivation.
really do stuff. Let's see what we got. What do we got? What was next? I don't know where we left off.
I don't know where-
Here we go. What is this?
That's,
This is Elena's work.
That's
Right.
my work. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the latest work.
Now, where
it's,
is this? 42nd Street Library?
This is 42nd Street, yes, and well, right
Well,
where
it's
the
42nd Street. Yeah.
yes,
Right, Fifth Avenue is behind us. Right.
exactly.
Why that spot? Wait. Go back. Why that spot?
Well, I did a series of different paintings of New York. I actually painted them like a journey. So that you can see
How
different
interesting.
places how you will be walking and
You know, if we could
seeing
come
this.
back onto the set here, of course, this gorgeous set by all of our friend Danny Halbin. He's inspiring to me because he's helped me look at the Bronx differently than maybe I would have. I probably have
Most
seen
people.
that scene,
Yeah.
most of us. That's the kind of thing you like to do. You would look at a scene and say, gee whiz, now I can interpret, let's
Yes,
say, New York City.
I work mostly from observation, which means that I look a lot.
Right, which is so interesting because it's really different from what Janine does. Janine has a
Yes.
whole different point of view. Did we have others we were going to see? There was that other picture that I kind of told them to take it away. What is this?
There's another one of my pieces made out
Okay.
of silk.
Wow.
And another one from the Mermaid series. All right.
Silk.
Yes, silk. I use all different natural fabrics: wool, cotton, silk.
And
denim.
the gravel, I guess, or the
That's
dirt?
sand.
It's
actually.
sand that's on there.
Right.
Just you decided that was the right.
Well,
feel for it?
I wanted to put the piece in, and it really was made for the beach. I mean, for the mermaid on the beach. So yes, I decided to do this installation in the
And-
show that I had in.
And again, the
Third
same
Avenue.
thing that I asked about the leather one. So this was put out, you positioned it in this
Yes.
way.
Yes, exactly. That's another piece. That's actually a wall piece of mine, and made
This-
all out of wool and hand painted in oil.
Wow. How long does it take to make a piece?
Oh,
like
each
that?
one is different. All right, it depends. It depends.
Keep going.
This one is made out of denim, another wall piece. This piece was also featured in the gallery guide for a show.
This one, I was fascinated by this. This
One of my
Crotona Park?
favorites. No. This is actually right at the behind my studio. All right on the river there.
Which is where?
Storage facility.
Yeah, right. The storage facility, exactly
where- what
behind the
part of the
storage
Bronx?
facility, Mott Haven,
Oh, in
South
Mott
Bronx,
Haven.
right on the water.
And
there.
and so, see, I love this because it seems to be
Thank you,
integrated
yeah.
with the park and the area. And is there a way to describe what this is?
This
or what
piece
was
is
it?
called the Female Tree. It's a very large piece, as you can see, and it's also one of the first outdoor pieces that I
Okay.
created.
Let's keep going. Let's roll through. I know we've got a couple more.
That's a
There's little-
detail of it. All
Made
female
of?
figures. This is also made of linen. This piece was a commission piece, and all made out of leather.
Commissioned by?
Commissioned by one of my largest collectors. He owns 6 of my pieces.
Wow. And how large are those in? Go back to the other one. How large are those in real life?
It's
Are they
24
life size?
Life
Yeah,
size,
life
exactly.
Okay. Keep going. Next. Here we go.
This is a piece that combines Elena's work and my work. You can see
Because
how they
hers is in the
complement
background.
it. Correct.
And what is that material? That's an iron, cast iron of some sort?
No, that is leather.
Well, it's leather.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's leather.
Wow,
And
keep going.
Elena's painted as well. This is one
This
of
is
Elena's.
one of Elena's things.
This is one of
Kind
my
of looks like
paints.
you. Am I be bold enough to
It-
say that?
It is
Correct,
me. It
Gary.
is me. Yeah. This is a huge painting.
Huge painting.
This is
Really?
10 feet long.
We can put it as our
Oh.
set back
Yeah,
here.
it will be that. It is same size at the.
Same size. Wow.
And well, it's called Reminiscence of a Dream.
What is that?
Reminiscences
Reminiscence
of a Dream.
All right, we've got some Elena's information. Keep going. We get them all yet? We have more of them? Or was that the
No,
end
no,
of
no.
it?
No.
Add a pictures, they say.
I missed pictures.
Elena, what's next for you? Do you work every day after school, or do you like need a time off, or do you say to yourself, "Gee whiz"?
Yeah, well, when I work compulsively, I need to say.
Really? That's okay. That's okay. Look,
yeah.
I'm the one to judge, right?
So it depends on the time, on the moment. I like working at night. And
do you have something in mind at this moment, like you say, "Gee, when I get the moment, I'm going to sit down," or not? Not at the
I do have a series that is started, and I'm not saying that I'm not painting at the moment. It's just a little slower because
she's keeping it quiet.
But
and so you have something going. You work on it every day. Now, do you work at home? You have a studio. What do you do?
Well, we have a studio. We actually share a studio.
Yeah, in Mott
Haven.
Okay, Janine, and for you, what's up for you?
I'm working on a series that hopefully I'll be able to
Related
show.
to the Mermaid series?
No,
totally unrelated.
Totally unrelated and sort of out of my usual comfort zone.
Really?
Good for artists to
you're not
do,
going to tell us what it is?
Well, I can't, Gary. We'll have to, when I get it all together,
You
we'll have to
come
bring
here,
you back.
put it right
And
here
I'll put
on the
it
table.
here, I'll put it right up.
And also, tell me a little bit about the outreach to Collective Energy. That's still alive, even though that particular show is
right.
doesn't exist.
The group is still alive, and please, artists of all disciplines, contact me through email. Give me a call on the telephone. Go to my website, whatever it is.
That is up on the screen.
And if the idea is that we need to work together to help each other, and that's going to be our greatest success. So if you're an artist interested in working together, call me.
A Bronx community of artists. In your mind, do you have another show ready, or you wait to see who turns up? I mean,
well, now it'll be. I'm working on trying to get back into the studio to work on my own work. But now what I'm working on, Gary, is to get a permanent space for the Fountainhead Gallery and Collective.
Well, if they're going to ask for a vote, I vote yes. I want them to have
Gary. Thank you.
So if anybody has space or would like to
please
consider
contact.
it, you got all that information.
Absolutely.
Janine Alfieri, thank you so much.
Thank
Elena
you, Gary.
Butha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I do want you to bring more stuff back.
Oh,
this
good.
is
Great.
so
We will.
important.
Would love to come back.
Perfect for the holidays, but we should do it year round, of course. Anyway, if you do have further questions or comments on anything you heard on tonight's show or anything going on in the Bronx, email them to us at BronxTalk@hotmail.com. You can make a comment on our Facebook page, and we'll read those on the air during a future edition of our program. Archives of the show are available at bronxnet.org. You click Bronx Talk on the right-hand navigation bar. Also, of course, please become a fan of Bronx Talk on Facebook. So we'll see you next week with an important show. All our shows are important. Next week, we'll bring on a social scientist and Bronx assemblyman to talk about access to mental health services and gun control. Make sure you're with us for that. And, of course, happy holidays. Thanks to our great producer, Jane Folloro, director Michael Arias, studio coordinator is Dina, and to all the cast of thousands around here, thank you. And to you, happy holidays, a good one and a healthy one for you and your family. Good night.
Thank you.